I'm glad that ABC News is doing this, but there's so many other news agencies that need to get out of the smear merchant business, that need to get, as Pelosi said back in the day, the wrap-up smears. It just needs to end in a day where we have technology out there, like social media. And what you need for these legacy media companies to do is to just report the facts. Let people speak for themselves, interview someone, let people see it all, and don't mince words, cut up people's quotes. There's, dozens and dozens of others that need to do the same thing, that have done a lot of bad work over the last few years.
And that's the CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, including Truth Social, incoming chairman of President Trump's Intelligence Advisory Board, Devin Nunes. On ABC News and its anchor, George Stephanopoulos, reaching a settlement with President-elect Trump in his defamation suit. ABC and Stephanopoulos agreed to issue a public apology to Trump and donate $15 million toward his future presidential library. The network will also pay $1 million in Trump's legal fees. Stephanopoulos deleted his X account over the weekend. Trump sued the network back in March after Stephanopoulos repeatedly claimed that Trump was found, quote, liable for rape in the lawsuit brought by columnist E. Jean Carroll. Trump was actually found liable for sexual abuse under New York law. He was not found liable for rape. Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman Maria Salazar, member of the House Foreign Affairs and Small Business Committees. She's also a 5-time Emmy Award-winning journalist who worked for several networks, including Telemundo, Univision, and CNN Español. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What's your reaction to the settlement between ABC and Trump?
Well, a few things. Thank you for the opportunity. Two things: that the judicial system still works in this country, thank God. And number two, that it was proven clearly that the news media, most of them are against Donald Trump. But thank God he won. He let them off easily, because otherwise he avoided legal discovery. It would have destroyed ABC reputation. They've become now the #1 donors for his future library. But still, it goes to show you that the American School of Journalism, that one that we have, that I did for 35 years, that you need to be impartial, unbiased, and let the American people decide for themselves. Don't think for them. But that's not the case under Donald Trump. I don't understand why, but I don't belong to that school of journalism. I mean, I interviewed Fidel Castro. I was the only one who did that. I am a Cuban-American, first generation. I served the Cuban-American exile community. I treated him with respect, but that's not the case anymore, unfortunately.
I want to switch gears, Congresswoman, and ask you about this crime wave and this dangerous gang. A police chief in West Fargo, North Dakota, is basically begging the government for help with the dangerous Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. A suspected gang member was recently arrested for stealing more than $20,000 from a local bank. The police chief told the New York Post it's been difficult to track the members without federal help, saying that the feds have not offered any assistance here. The dangerous Venezuelan gang also popped up in Florida. A Tren de Aragua gang member arrested near President Trump's home in Palm Beach. The suspect with a criminal record for assault with a deadly weapon. Congressman, you wrote on X, I've been warning about this, and now the criminal Venezuelan gangs are targeting President Trump. What do you know about this? And what's your advice in terms of getting this Tren de Aragua gang out of America?
Well, Maria, Tren de Aragua is a transnational criminal organization. Senator Rubio and myself, we forced the Biden administration to put them on that list. But we got to understand that this is a state-sponsored organized crime empire, that it comes from Venezuela. The ringleader, the guy who is paying the bills and organizing the whole situation, is Maduro, the leader in Venezuela. We're not dealing with regular gang members. No, we're dealing with intelligent people that are organized, and they're penetrating every single state of the country. You saw what happened in Tennessee. You know what's happening in New York City, where you are. 800 crimes. You know what they're doing? They live in the shelter community in New York. And they're recruiting the children who are as young as 11-year-old, recruiting children, and 800 incidents. And what are they doing? The only thing they're trying to attack now President Trump and members of Congress. They have arrived in Washington, D.C. And how did this happen? Because the border was open for 4 years. And unfortunately, highly irresponsible, the Biden administration did not vet these people. These are not regular people who are coming to clean the toilets. These are people who are coming going to go after the president. And they're well financed, well organized, and they are people that are thinking how to do evil. So most important national security threat that we have faced since 9/11, and unfortunately they're coming from Venezuela. And now what do we have to do? Well, the feds have to go after them and deport them and kick them out violently. That's what we need to do.
You know, you cannot overestimate enough the impact of this wide open border and how inept this administration has been to keep this border open, to have zero vetting at the border, and ultimately allow this dangerous Venezuelan gang to just run around America and cause such havoc. It's just incredible to me. And we have had no answers from Alejandro Mayorkas, the head of Homeland Security, Congresswoman.
When you said not only the Tren de Aragua, but 85,000 plus children who came in with an adult, and they were not vetted, and they did not conduct a DNA testing to figure out if that adult is next of kin or related to them by blood. So just picture this: 85,000 children somewhere in the country that we do not know if they're being trafficked. Sexual trafficking is and unfortunately, the United States is the #1 consumer of child sex trafficking porno. So how did these people do that to children? And then on top of that, Tren de Aragua. And I go back to Venezuela. We got to deal with Maduro. And President Trump is the only one who can pick up the phone and said to Nicolas Maduro, you got to go. And you have to go because you lost the elections. And on top of that, you are now paying the bills and masterminding this Tren de Aragua who's coming to attack. Look what happened in Georgia. Look what happened in Tennessee. Look what happened and now the more time it passes, the worse is going to get.
Unbelievable. What an incredibly vulnerable position this administration has left America in. And then he has the nerve to yesterday say that the metric is, are you better off today than 4 years ago? And in every fiber of his bone, it's yes. What? Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. We'll be watching your work. Maria Salazar joining us this morning in Florida. Thank you. Quick break.